So, Heathers is probably my favorite musical out of all of them, from the songs to the comedy.
I had pain in my path, like Sylvia Plath. My problems were myriad.
I was having my period.
To the characters, to just everything. I love it. I love it! But one thing I've been thinking about and that I was talking about with my friend is, did JD actually love Veronica? Well, I actually think he did. So I'm going to talk about it in a video. But disclaimer first, there are going to be spoilers to the musical in this video, so if you haven't seen it yet, I suggest you watch it and then come back to this video. You can easily watch it on YouTube. If you've already watched it or you really just don't care, then enjoy. So I'm going to keep this part short because I'm just going to be talking about the scene before the song. Right after Candy's door, Veronica walks off for a second and then JD speaks to her for the first time, I might add, and he's actually the one who made conversation first. Now, I don't know about you, but I don't think that if someone wasn't at least interested in you, then they wouldn't say, and I quote, "Clearly, you've got a soul." And JD knows that Veronica is friends with the Heathers, but he actually seems to think that she's not like them, that she may actually be nice, so he definitely seems like he's at least a bit interested in her. So in the Freeze Your Brain scene, Veronica is in 7-Eleven getting stuff for the party, and what a surprise, JD is there too. Like I said, for Far From Me, JD speaks to Veronica first. He even literally says, "Bag the party, hang here," which means he wants her to stay in the store with him and hang out or something. I don't know, don't ask me. Yet, another sign that he is indeed interested in her. When the song actually starts, he starts to open up to her. During the song, he says, "I don't learn their names, don't bother with faces." Normal thing to say when you've been through 10 high schools, right? But then he says, "You're planning your future, Veronica Sawyer." He says her name, which means he learned it, which means he actually cared about learning it. If the writers of the song wanted to convey him as just manipulative and didn't love her at all, they wouldn't make him say, "I don't learn the names," and then immediately have him say her full name. So, I'm only gonna talk about this scene a little bit, cause, it's a bit spicy. But when Veronica says what she's there for, JD walks up to her and gets, a little, close. And if he wasn't okay with this, which he was, then he wouldn't start touching her and say,
That works for me.
And we all know that Veronica wasn't the only one getting into it. They both were. But I think with their girl walking, though, I think definitely he went from just being interested in her to, actually liking her. Because they kind of did some stuff. Before the Me Inside of Me and after they go walking, Veronica says that she has to go kiss Heather's ass. In this sequence, JD says that he's gonna go with her, and Veronica says,
Really?
which means she's surprised to see he volunteers to go with her. I'm not going to be talking about the song specifically, but the scene before it, when Veronica starts laughing, but then says, JD says to take it seriously and stuff because she could go to jail.
Now.
So he seems to be worried about her getting arrested for this, so it kind of seems like he doesn't want her to go to jail. And yeah, this can also seem like he doesn't want to get arrested himself, but if that were true, he'd probably say something like, "I could go to jail," or "I could get arrested," not the other way around. But he didn't, so it shows that he's worried about her. Also, just to add, but when Veronica gets on her knees to apologize to Heather, JD seems to know that she's embarrassed and he turns away. Just something to think about. This is going to be around the time I actually get serious into the video. In Our Lover Squad, this song shows how much JD loves Veronica, but how manipulative he can be too. During the rumor scene where Kurt and Ram are spreading the rumor that Veronica blew too, during the end, JD goes to beat them up and stuff. I know that JD can be violent. He killed 3 people. But for this, there would be no other reason for him to go beat them up unless he wanted to beat them up for saying stuff about Veronica and making her cry. And then making her cry is something that makes him pretty angry, as we can see he references several times. But this is one of the songs where JD just says how much he loves Veronica, because he literally says, "I trade my life for yours." I know that many people might say that he's just saying that to make her think that he likes her and that he's just lying and that he's just manipulating her. If this was true and the writers were actually trying to do this, this would be going way out of way to manipulate her by saying he would literally die for her. And killing two people that made her cry and to write a whole song about it would be just way too much for this. Now, yes, JD did indeed manipulate Veronica, but not in the way you think. When JD is loading the gun, he says he's filling with "I lie" bullets, apparently, and he did manipulate her into thinking that these were fake bullets, not real ones. And JD is manipulative. That's just something about him. But that doesn't mean that he didn't love her, because he really did. But back on topic. Even when JD is about to kill Kurt, he still is sinning his love by saying, "We can start and finish wars. Whoever killed the dinosaurs, they'll die because we say they must." This shows just how sickly in love he's in with Veronica, and if he were trying to seem intimidating and scary, he would probably say, "I can start and finish wars. I'm gonna kill the dinosaurs. They die because I say they must." Even when he's just murdered someone, he's still saying, "Our love is God." He's still constantly saying how much he's in love with her, and in this scene, he's just practically fawning over her. I feel like with this song, this is definitely one of the songs where if the writers were trying to make it seem like he didn't love her, then it would have been written completely different. It would still exist, but it just wouldn't be written this way, where he's saying all this stuff like "Our love is God," "We can start and finish wars," just all this stuff. He definitely wouldn't be saying it if he didn't love her. I'm just gonna go ahead and say it. This song would not exist if he didn't love her. This entire song is just the two of them saying how much they love each other. From them saying that they want to be with each other, to them saying that each other's love is too good to lose, to them holding each other, this song is obviously about their relationship and how much they're in love with each other. If JD did not love Veronica at all, then this song would be at the very least written differently, where Veronica's the only one saying all this stuff, but she's not. JD's also singing with her and saying how much he loves her too. Both of them, JD included, say, "You're the one I choose." And like I said before, this would be going way out of his way to just manipulate her, because he says that he chooses her, he kisses her several times, and was extremely upset when she breaks up with him. I've been manipulated before by someone who I thought was my friend and that I could trust. And I'm just going to say that they did not say any of this kind of stuff, and they were my best friend. I'm not an expert on manipulation yet, but I know what it feels like, and I've seen it before, and this is just not what it looks like if he has the entire song with Veronica saying how much he loves her. If the writers of this song wanted it to seem like the relationship was just a one-sided thing with Veronica, like only loved him and he was just using her and manipulating her, then I do think that Veronica would be the only one singing, and he would, I don't know, but they would have written it differently if that's what they were trying to do, and it definitely does not seem like that's what they were trying to do from all the songs they share together that they've said in the song. It doesn't seem like that's what they were trying to do, because when it comes to if the characters actually like each other, it's definitely what the writers were trying to do, and what it seems like the writers were trying to do is definitely that both of them loved each other, because it seems like they did. This is a song that shows how obsessed JD can be with Veronica. The type of things he says in the song when he talks about the way he felt when Veronica and JD broke up, the way he describes his emotions are extreme, to say the least. You left me and I fell apart. I punched the wall and cried. That is a very extreme way to react to a breakup, and I don't think he'd be this desperate to get her back if he didn't love her. It also seems like he doesn't blame her because he says, those assholes are the key. They're keeping you away from me. They made you blind, messed up your mind, but I can set you free. So it seems like he's trying to convince himself that she still loves him and that it's not her fault, and that she can still be with him. And he would not be manipulating her in this song because dude is having a full-on mental breakdown over her. He is sickly in love with her to the point where he would commit literal murder for her. When he says, I was meant to be yours, we were meant to be one, it seems like he believes that they were really, well, meant to be with each other. All that soulmate shit. And near the end of the song, he says, please don't leave me alone. You are all I could trust. And with the type of person that JD is, this is probably a very rare thing for someone like that to feel about someone else. Someone who's lost a lot of things, someone who's lost the ability to trust easily, and someone who doesn't open up easily is the kind of person JD is. And for these kinds of people, it can be very rare for them to obsess over people so much. And JD is definitely obsessed with Veronica, but in a way where he loves her way too much. And now we get to my final point. In I'm Damaged, Veronica takes a bomb and brings it out to the football field so that no one else dies but her. Right when she thinks she's about to die, JD follows her out to take the bomb from her. When Veronica says that she doesn't deserve to live, JD replies with, I respectfully disagree, and takes the bomb from her. He says, I'm damaged, far too damaged, but you're not beyond repair. He tells her to stand back from him, and he admits that he wants her to miss him, wants her to kiss him, and who states that he would indeed trade his life for hers. He tells her that when he's gone, to make things better and clean up the mess. Even after they fought each other and Veronica shot him, he's still expressing a type of love for her, and he recognizes what he's done. And with that, his story ends. And now we've come to the end of the video. I really hope you enjoyed it and that I hope it was good enough, but yeah. I know we only really talked about one side of the argument, but if you have a different opinion, then you can always share it in the comments. But this is the end of the video, and have a nice rest of your night, evening, day, whatever. I don't know where you live.